Welcome back, watch people. So today we are talking about the top 5 dirty tricks that some watch dealers play on some of their customers, but don't worry, they're fairly rare and the reserve of the less scrupulous, but nonetheless this stuff does happen. So here are the top 5 things that you need to look out for when you're buying or selling a luxury watch. Oh, and by the way, don't think that you private sellers are getting to get away with this either, because coming soon are the top 5 dirty tricks that the public play on us watch dealers. Yes, you can be both as bad as one another at times, and when there's a pound note or a dollar bill involved, the public can be even worse. Right, here we go. Number 1 is taking links out of watches. Now, as we all know, links can be highly valuable, and as a dealer, of course, it's always very handy to have as many spare links as possible in stock so that you can resize a bracelet if and when required. And gold links, of course, are particularly expensive. And as a dealer, look, if you can nick a link out of, say, every gold Rolex that you sell in a year, then you could quite easily have added 20 grand to your year's income. So you can understand why this practice regularly takes place. Now, my own personal philosophy on this one was to sell a watch exactly how it came to me. So if I bought the watch with a short bracelet, that's how I'd sell it, and I'd address any resizing issues at the point of sale. The big question is, did I ever take links from watches? Well, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't, and every watch dealer in the world has done it. But there is a level of dishonesty here. If a watch came to me with an excessive amount of links in it, i.e. over factory size, and I was happy to remove those links, keep them for myself, and consider those to be a bonus. Number 2 is pointing out the bad points and keeping quiet about the good ones. That's a very naughty trick, and oh yes, watch dealers can be very, very good at this one. You could show some of them a nice 62 Rolex Daytona with a rare full set, and all they'll point out is that the bracelet has a little bit of stretch. Well, there'd be a surprise. So my advice is this: look, if you're unsure about the value of what you're selling, do some research before you sell it and not afterwards. And again, my philosophy was always to be as honest and transparent as possible about what the customer was selling, and try and explain the trade and retail values of the watch, the pros, the cons of selling it privately as opposed to selling it into the trade. And ultimately, I was always happy to tell them exactly what I'd hoped to sell the watch for. Number 3 is lowballing people that don't know what they're selling. Now, this one's a little bit more difficult to cover, to be fair, because there is a difference between a dealer deliberately lowballing someone just because they're trying to get it on the cheap, and offering a lower price because they may already have 2 or 3 of those watches in stock. And quite understandably, sometimes people confuse a dealer's lack of interest in their watch with a lowball offer. The truth is, if the watch you're trying to sell is freely available within the trade or isn't particularly sought after, then they might not really be lowballing you. They might not just want the watch unless the price is strongly in their favour. Either way, again, research before you try and sell. Number 4 is lying about what a watch is worth on the open market. Now, this is a particularly nasty one, it's a sinister one, and something that I could never approve of or defend. Yes, we are all in business, but I'll go back to that example of the 62 Daytona. To tell any potential seller of a watch like that it might be worth, say, 20 grand would frankly be criminal. A dealer's job is, of course, to buy as much stock as he possibly can, as cheaply as he can, but there's a line, and the line, as far as I'm concerned, is transparency. And I go back to what I said earlier, that a good dealer will explain how much he can offer you for a watch, why it's that amount, and how much he hopes to sell it for. But at the same time, you guys also have to understand that he has overheads, and the fact that the taxman, of course, will want a big pound of his flesh, whereas your sale to the dealer will almost certainly be completely tax-free. And finally, for today, number 5 is selling watches that they simply don't have. This is a practice that's been going on now for a very long time, And any glance at a platform such as Chrono24 will tell you there's a lot of dealers out there advertising a lot of stock they haven't got, and is simply not physical. Now that in itself isn't a crime, and it isn't necessarily the sign of a dodgy watch dealer. But be careful about depositing a watch. They'll want to source only after you've committed to buying it, and be very clear on the terms and conditions of the sale and how you stand with your deposit if they can't source the watch that you've ordered. Again, researching your dealer's history is absolutely key. Right guys, look, that's it for today. Next time around, I'm going to tell you about the top 5 dirty tricks that the watch selling public try and play on us watch dealers, and I can tell you, it ain't pretty. I'll catch you soon.